Okay, so if you want to make a document in Google Slides that students can type on or edit, the first thing you're going to want to do is choose your document. So you said you had a lot of PDF documents, which is great because oftentimes you can put those right into Google Slides, but sometimes we'll need to take an extra step. So I'm going to show you both ways. So the first thing we want to do is choose the document that we want to be able to have students write on. So I've just picked, and I'm going to share my screen with you here. I have just picked a graphic organizer that I use with students sometimes. So this is just a simple graphic organizer, and it's a PDF here. You can see at the top. So we're going to start with this one. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is open up your Google Slides. So I'm going to go to my Drive, New, and open up a Google Slide document. Okay, so you can see that we have a wide setting here, and most of the documents or assignments that we give students are not shaped like this. And if I try to put that into this Google Slide, it's going to become warped. So I'm just going to clear the text boxes off of this page. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set the page to be the correct size. So to do that, we're going to go over to File. And I'm going to scroll down here to Page Setup. And in the page setup, we are going to customize our slide. So we're going to put Custom, and we're going to make it the size of a piece of paper. So 8 by 11 and a half. And then we just apply that. So now we have a nice paper-sized slide that's going to look a lot better when we try to put our assignment onto it. Okay, so sometimes my PDFs won't transfer directly into Google Slides, so I have to take a screenshot of them. So I'm going to start by doing that with this one, because I think you're going to run into that problem a lot too. So let's just minimize this window, and let's take a look at my PDF here. So I'm going to open it up a little bigger. I just hit the maximize button. So now I have, you can see here, a full shot of my I Can Read a Nonfiction text assignment. So in order to take a screenshot, remember I said we're going to use Shift, Command, and the number 4. And you should get this little crosshair target here. I'm going to put that up in the front corner of my screen, at the top corner of your paper, and then we're just going to scroll down and stretch it over all of the information that we want to include. And then you just let it go, and you hear the little shutter button. That tells you that you've taken a picture of it. Okay, so now I can get out of here, and we'll just minimize that, and we're going to go back to our Google Slides. So we're going to go back to the Chrome button. So here we are in our Google Slides. I'm going to maximize that so we can see the full screen. Okay. So in order to put it on this piece of paper, I don't just want to copy the image, because then the students won't be able to type directly onto it, and then they can end up moving the image if they want, or accidentally dragging things around that I don't want them to have access to. So I want to set it so that they can't touch that actual image. So in order to do that, we're going to go to Background. So I'm going to click on Background, and we're going to choose an image, and then we're going to browse. The easiest way to find that screenshot that you just took is to go up to the Recents, and then you can see my screenshots, and they have timestamps here on them. And you can also view them in this little window in case you're not sure which one you're looking at. So this is the one that I just took right now at 10:54. This is my graphic organizer that I wanted to use. So we're just going to select Open. And done. So now I've set that graphic organizer as my background. So I'm going to be able to have students edit this now, but look, they can't click on that. They can't move any of the words. None of this is stuff they're going to be able to mess with. So let's zoom in a little bit so that we can see what we're doing a little better here. Okay, so I have a question here that I want students to answer, right? So in order to make a space for them to type, we're going to create a text box. So it's just the one right here next to the arrow with the little T inside it. So I'll click on that. And then I'm going to stretch the text box to fit the amount of space I want them to be able to type in. Just let it go. And then if you feel like the typing is the right size, you can leave it at that size. Or if you want them to maybe write a little bit bigger, you could change the sizes, whatever you want. You could even change the fonts if you like something different. But you're just going to put a text box in here. So every single place that I want students to be able to write, I'm going to continue adding text boxes. So text box, stretch, text box, stretch, and so on. And we'll just do all of them so that I can actually use this document later too. Okay. And we scroll down here, and you can make your boxes different sizes. So for the words that we don't know, and then if you want them to put in a definition, and so on and so on. So we just fill in all of the spaces that we want students to be able to type in with these little text boxes. Last one here. Okay, so now students can write and access these text boxes and type whatever it is that they think the answer is. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So you can title your presentation. So a nonfiction graphic organizer. And then let's talk about putting it in the Google Classroom. So from here, I'm just going to go to my classroom, and I'm going to go to classwork. So select classwork, and then we're going to create an assignment. And then we can title our assignment whatever we want. So read a or actually let's call it use a nonfiction graphic organizer. Use a graphic organizer. And then give instructions. So read a nonfiction text and fill out the graphic organizer. And then sometimes, because it's new for the kids, you might want to remind them that they can click on the document and type inside it. So I kind of add that in these days. So this is a paper that you can type on. And I like to use kid-friendly language for that. Just click where you want to type and type your answer. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go to Add, and we're going to go to our Google Drive because that's where we created the slideshow. And I like to keep things under the Recent tab here because it's the thing I last worked on, but there are a lot of other options for places that you can look for your documents. But because we just worked on it, we can just stick with Recent. And I can see it right here, so I'll just click on it and say Add. Now the next thing you want to do, and this is really important if you're going to assign it to all of your students, is take a look at this button here. You're going to want to make a copy for each student. Otherwise, every student's going to be editing the exact same copy and it's going to be a hot mess. So make a copy for each student.